Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Got a couple folks from the library here to talk about exciting things happening there. But before we get into the specifics, can both of you introduce yourselves, say a little bit about what you do at the library as well?
Sure. Thanks for having us, Connie. I'm Vannessa Velez. I'm the director of the library. And I could explain what that is, but I think it's probably pretty self-evident.
My name is Frank Foderaro, and I am the Lifelong Learning Coordinator.
Okay, and Vannessa, how did you end up as the director of this library? Have you directed other libraries? Did you start lower on the chain and then you worked your way up? What's the story?
Yes, option two. No, I started working for East Bonner in 2006. So entry-level job as a page, and that's literally where you start usually, unless you're hired for something more specialized. So I just stayed and worked my way up through various positions and departments until I was at the managerial level, and then, just managed to get into the director position not even 2 years ago. It's been about a year and a half, I think.
Was that what you were kind of dreaming of when you first started? Did you think one day I'll be the director? Or
I don't think I was thinking I'd get that far, honestly. I didn't have much of a personal career plan for myself. I just knew I loved libraries and always wanted to. I worked in the college library, so it was a natural fit for me, and I took to it pretty well. So I wouldn't think I had like the ambitions to have the position, but then it felt sort of inevitable at one point. So not in a bad way, just it wasn't something I was really like scrambling or clawing towards. Mm-hmm. It just sort of happened pretty naturally.
Yeah, well, that's always nice too. Probably wasn't like a lot of pressure on you. Like, I'm going for this director and I have to have it, and that's always been my dream.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That was. Yeah. Definitely.
You were interim director when I got hired on.
Yes. This
so
is.
It's your fault that I'm.
That's
working
true.
At the library.
That's true. That is. I remember that sometimes. Yes. I had to take over suddenly, and so I had to do the job of director for about a year before applying for the position in a permanent way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what is a lifelong learning center?
Well, Lifelong Learning Center does a lot of different things for the community. We do a lot of tutoring, and so we actually work with young kids to senior patrons. So a lot of the things that we do, like for example, tech tutoring, technology tutoring, we have a lot more of our older patron learners come in for help with that. We help with school-age kids from elementary and middle school and high school and college kids for math, language arts, reading, spelling. We have people coming in for help with GED, I just got one recently. We had a few that asking for citizenship, help with that, and English as a second language. Mm-hmm. And we have foreign tutors. So we have a lot of different tutors for different things. And if someone asks for help in something that we normally don't have or commonly use for tutors, I will send out an email to all our tutors, and usually one of them will have some kind of a skill. We've had authors asking about, how do I promote myself? Mm-hmm. How do I market myself on social media? And we have a couple of tutors that have been doing that. Mm-hmm. So we're like, well, can you help them out? So we have a lot of different things that we do. And the other thing we do is proctored exams.
A lot of those.
We have dedicated rooms for proctored exams, and we have people taking tests for certifications, or they're online taking classes and they're taking a test online. So So we have a lot of different things going on in that realm.
And so is the center actually a center? Like, is it a room or a section of, or where is it exactly?
So it's on the second floor of the library. We have 4 rooms currently dedicated for tutoring. 2 of those rooms are also dedicated for the proctored exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so anybody can come to the center and say, I have a need or desire or want to learn XYZ thing. Can you help me? And then you would determine whether you could do that or not with tutors you already have, or maybe you send your email out to tutors. And I know somebody that does have this, that does speak French really well in town or something. Is that kind of what you do?
We have over 30 tutors,
okay,
between 30 and 40, and they all are tutoring a specific, a specific subject. And so what a patron needs to do is go onto our library website, ebonnerlibrary.org. On the first page, go all the way down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see, when you look at the page, on the bottom of the picture, you'll see green icons. And one of the green icons, it says tutoring. Just click on tutoring, and then you find a button that says request a tutor. And you can also scroll down further and find a button that says request the proctored exam.
Okay.
Yeah. So they fill that information out. I receive it, and then I call up and find out specifics about what the patron, what the needs are of the patron, and then set them up or find someone that would fit a little bit better for the person that we're trying to help. So,
but if the current tutoring pool doesn't satisfy the need, sometimes we'll put out an advertisement for more tutors or ask our volunteer coordinator to specifically try to find a potential tutor who has that skill set. So right now you're doing pretty well.
We're doing well. We have
a
a few tutors, new tutors that came in. So anyone in the community that loves to teach math, language arts, or science or anything, let us know. What you can do is, again, go to ebonnerlibrary.org, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see a text, hypertext that says volunteers. Click on volunteers, and then you just fill out the application. And you could, on the application, you could select that you want to tutor. And then we work through the process of interviewing and setting people up to do tutoring. So.
Do you have a list of the tutors? So if you're like just wanting to do stuff for your own enrichment, you can go, oh, there's a tutor on such and such a subject. Or do you have to have like a specific need? I'm struggling with XYZ thing, or I need this for my career, or I need this for my education.
It's more like that. Yeah.
So I guess it depends on what the needs are. We have on the application, it says what you need tutoring for and your learning goals. Mm-hmm. So we try to match that up with someone.
So essentially it is more coming from the learner's perspective, like what the need is, and then we try to... Okay. So we don't have a list of kind of on-demand tutors for various topics.
I could see how that could get maybe out of control.
Right. We do have a lot of databases for that, though. We have tutor.com and other sources that, like Udemy. So if you are interested in a particular topic that you don't necessarily need one-on-one, although tutor.com does provide one-on-one sessions. You can go to one of those and get some free resources for that too.
They have online tutors. We also, on a couple of our proctored rooms, we're designed to also do Zoom tutoring. And it's basically when we've had a few instances where a kid is going to school and is sick and can't be in school for a while, so a tutor will go on the computer and do Zoom sessions with them. We've had people that would leave the state for a while, and then we would do tutoring for them. Or we've had adult learners who have other responsibilities for family or work, and there are times that they can't come in, so we would set that up so the tutor could use the room and do a Zoom meeting with the patron learner.
Okay,
so
cool. And is it pretty easy to get a tutor? Like, is there a wait list, or generally when there is a need, are you able to meet it pretty quickly, or has the demand been pretty high?
The demand has been really high, depending on the school year. This year it was math. We had a lot of requests for math, a lot of younger kids too, elementary, middle school, as well as high school. We had a waiting list for math. The year before that, it was language arts.
Okay. So it just
So
ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it just depends, and it also might depend on the school system itself, what they may be focusing on. That might be another issue. We have public school kids, we have private school kids, and homeschoolers that come in. The majority are from the school district.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And for proctoring exams, can you do pretty much any exam that needs to be proctored as long as you're given, the information, or is it only specific exams? How do people find out if they can use your services for that if they have
it depends where they're getting, if it's a school, then I give them my information. A lot of the exams, believe it or not, are written, so they'll send me all the information, the test itself, and I print it out, and then I make a PDF and send it back.
Handwritten?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they give me a
I knew
PDF.
that.
I print it out,
goodness.
and they fill the test out, and then I do a PDF and mail it back, or email it back, I should say, or they do the exam on a computer, and so I watch while they're doing the exam, making sure that their tabs, they don't switch tabs on the computer and all that. So, and part of it is, check their ID and any other things that they should have with them. We lock it up, and we do all the things that testing centers will do. So
neat, cool. And so word on the street is there's an expansion coming.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that? That's very exciting.
Yeah, we just posted our first bid advertisement yesterday, and it'll be in the Bee next Wednesday as well. We're going to be doing a walkthrough on the 30th for potential bidders, and then May 5th we'll be opening bids. So hopefully the board will be able to award the bid on the 11th, and we'll know which contractor won the bid. But it's a 4,500 square foot 2-story expansion on the northwest corner of the building. So really the one chunk of lawn that's actually left. We're kind of maxing out our footprint at this point. But it is a continuity of the expansion from 2017. The first floor of this expansion we're doing now was intended to be part of that project. So this is technically like the phase 2 of that project. But when we had the architects come in to start getting the design plans going again, they suggested, and in keeping with other needs that we had to increase some staff spaces as well, they suggested going up a floor, and also for cost efficiencies of the fact that things just continue to get more expensive, like construction and all of that. So if you can do it now, which theoretically we can based on the cost estimates we've received, we'll see how the bids come in. But so they designed us a 2-story that gives us an extra larger meeting room on the first floor and a little cafe. And the second floor is an expansion of the Lifelong Learning Center. And hopefully it's going to be big enough to also accommodate a dedicated multimedia room, sort of a very mini version of what you guys have going on here, that can be available to the public, as well as like study rooms for people who aren't necessarily affiliated with the Lifelong Learning Center. So if the tutoring program, if the tutor pair and learner pairs are all scheduled and we have free rooms, then anyone who needs to schedule a room for studying or like telehealth or anything like that can use the space. And we're also gaining a couple of staff offices and expanding the size of our paging room, which has been too small for many years now. So.
Okay, and will the cafe be that's like a revenue stream then for the...
It's not intended to be. We are hoping to contract out with a local business person or entrepreneur to run it. So hopefully we'll just lease it at a super reasonable rate for someone wanting to either get into the coffee business or just like either run it as a side business or use it as a launch point for something more elaborate, but it's not going to have food production.
Okay.
So it's just going to be, we are designing it so that it can have a nice espresso machine and all of the sinks and everything to be health department compliant.
Yeah.
But we're not looking to make it like a full-on, full-service cafe. So it's not going to be huge capacity of like 30 people, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just really serving drinks.
And then with like a patio. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as people have mentioned in surveys that we've put out over the years, how it would be nice to be able to just get a coffee while they're at the library, post it up all day studying or whatever it is. So trying to meet that need.
Yeah. It makes total sense. I mean, I don't think anyone could argue that coffee and
hopefully.
books don't go together.
Right, yes. Agreed. Tea.
Right, and tea, and tea too. And so it seems like the Lifelong Learning Center is going to be kind of the main benefactor or like the benefitter of this.
We get a lot of kids come in after 2, like 3 to 5. We get a bottleneck with so many kids coming after school. To get tutoring, we only have so many rooms. Now with the expansion, we'll have probably over double what we have.
That's pretty big.
And so that way we won't have as much of an issue with scheduling, and we can take care of more of the community. Yeah.
How long has the Lifelong Learning Center been around?
Since before I started working there.
Okay.
So
It's been a long time.
I think it was, I don't want to misspeak since I've only know really from 06, but it was there in place when I started. So I want to assume it has existed since the library's been there since 2000, but I could be wrong.
Okay. And are you doing? Are there fundraisers and things happening, or you said theoretically you could handle it, or how's it working financially?
Yeah, so we're not specifically fundraising for this project because we managed to save some money from donations over the years, as well as a portion of county sales tax. So we can't use levy money for our new construction, so we're not using like the property tax component of our budget for this. But certain additional or potentially unexpected expenses like the cafe would be a really good opportunity for a local organization or business to potentially sponsor or co-sponsor, especially because there's such a range. Like we could have a cafe where it's just an automatic push button. Here you have this one type of coffee for $1. Here's your styrofoam.
Like a hotel kind of thing.
Just super low end. Or you can have a $10,000 espresso machine, that actually makes nice coffee. So if we want to kind of sort of elevate the experience and make it nice for people, those are the types of things that we may have to look at in our budget to maybe look for some sponsorships.
Okay, so that's still sort of ongoing, figuring out.
Yeah, a
where
little,
you might
but the major shell of it should be covered. And again, like we're waiting to get bids in, so we'll find out.
You'll find out soon,
Yeah.
if what you're projecting is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so there might be opportunities for locals to sponsor certain things within this expansion. And I guess when you figure out whether that is the case or not, you'll just do a newsletter, you'll do social media postings to spread the word about, hey, be the espresso machine sponsor or whatever else.
Would you like your name on our cafe? Yeah.
And it seems like you're maybe buying quite a bit of technology too if you're going to be doing kind of a media room and stuff, so you might need some support there.
That's an excellent point. Yes. Yeah, we do have some equipment that we use for our podcasting currently, but it is pretty basic. So if we do want to increase the capacity for that, yeah, absolutely, that would be part of it. Some of it isn't going to be in place until next fiscal year, so we haven't created the budget for all of like the furnishings and equipment. So we're kind of looking at that now, as to what can go next year, what we actually need. But yeah, that's if we want to get something high end, that could be a great opportunity for someone to sort of
get the room
boost
with
that
plaque
a bit.
With their name over the room or whatever.
Yep.
And what is the timeline? When do you think you'll be doing the big scissor ribbon ceremony?
This has been, I've been told that theoretically, if the winning contractor is really ready to move, they could be groundbreaking in June. But considering that the bid won't be awarded until May 11th, I think that that's a little optimistic, but
You never know.
you never know.
I feel like this is also
it will
really
definitely be
cool.
this summer.
I mean, I have a feeling that a lot of people who are going to bid on this, contractors, they're going to want to say, I built the library, or, I did that
I would
expansion.
hope, yeah.
So
it'd be really visible.
Yes, and it'd just be a cool thing to put on the resume, right? So I have a feeling people will be giving you very fair bids because they're going to want it for the
I would
PR.
love it to be a local company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be the best.
And how has the reaction been from people when they find out about it? Are people just ecstatic?
Generally, everyone's really excited. Yeah. I've gotten some very, very mild tongue-in-cheek sadness about, losing the last chunk of lawn, which I fully understand. We have to remove the tree and move the fountain, and there's just little pieces of loss, but I think the gain is so much bigger that most people are just excited.
And it sounds like, you make a lot of decisions based off of what your patrons are telling you. You mentioned the survey, and that's why you don't need to serve coffee. So you're listening to patrons as to what direction you should be going next.
Definitely. Yeah, a big part of this is, unfortunately, you can't, we try, libraries endlessly try to be everything to everyone, but since you can't do that, at least you can try to provide something for everyone. And so this is meeting the need of increased free meeting space for community members, which is huge.
I use the free meeting space.
Yes.
And I love it. So yes.
Yeah, and that's at a premium in this area. And the Lifelong Learning Center is one of our most popular programs, and it really does meet a unique need, but also just having more dedicated, quiet workspaces where we do have a lot of space, but we've walked around a few times, and we saw this in the survey too. There's times where all of the tables are full. And it's not 24/7, but when you go there and you walk around and you want to sit down and study, get on your computer, and there's nowhere for you to sit, that kind of proves that we can handle a couple extra rooms for that. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully.
When I heard about the expansion, it didn't surprise me at all because we all know, there's people just flocking in to the community. So it makes sense that all, our services like the library would need to expand and accommodate that need with more people. So I sometimes when there's big projects like this, sometimes people might go, my tax dollars are associated with this, and why are we doing this? But I think in this case, it'd be very hard to make that case.
I hope so. We're going to try to keep it as unobtrusive as possible, which obviously is easier said than done considering the equipment that's going to be on site. But we're not really carving into existing public spaces much. I mean, much at all, really. That's going to be pretty minimal. I think there's going to be times where you're going to be hearing things, and certain areas may have to be protected just for adjacency to demolition or something like that. But we're not doing the extent of the remodel that we did previously. So we're not really moving collections. There really shouldn't be that much of an impact. We are temporarily going to have to take over one of our meeting rooms to move one of our departments into it for about 3 to 4 months. And that is probably going to be the most impactful because we know how much those meeting rooms are used. But I hope it's not too big of a problem.
Well, when anybody using the meetings will know more meeting spaces coming. So come on,
That's right. It's a price to pay now, but for a gain later. So hopefully,
very little of the library will actually have to shut down. For this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, nothing's going to have to shut down. We're going to have to do some internal rearrangements because our technical services department is what is directly adjacent to the new construction. So they're going to have to vacate, and they're also underneath where the roof line's getting cut. Okay. I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but demolished, removed, and replaced. So they're going to have to move. So we're going to have to move all of their furnishings and equipment and the people to a safer location where they can work temporarily, and that is the meeting room because we don't really have another option. And then our paging area that's also growing in size is then going to have to, so next phase is then going to have to be kind of shifted into other workspaces. But that's all staff workspaces. So patrons visiting will notice, but not, it shouldn't change the way that they interact with the library very much.
And do you run the learning center on your own? Do you have other staffers? Is it just you kind of coordinating the volunteers?
It's me.
Yeah.
We may have to talk about getting
Oh, did I just open up a can of worms?
Well, our volunteers are awesome, and I have a couple of volunteers that help train other volunteers, language arts and math. They help train because we do assessments as well. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of the kids that come in, and they're not at grade level. So, for example, with math, we may determine what grade level they're at, do a specific assessment for that grade level, and then find those gaps that are missing so we can get them up to the grade level they need to be. And so we do a lot of that as well. So sometimes we're working to get them into the grade level they need to be, or we're helping them with their assignments for class, or doing a little bit of both. Working on the grade level, getting them up to where they need to be, and then helping them with their coursework. Mm-hmm. So that's another service that I think has been very helpful for the community.
And those assessments are important because we don't really want to necessarily make the Lifelong Learning Center someone's permanent tutor K through 12. Like, the idea is to allow learners to come in when they have a need and then rotate out so that we can make room for more. So when a student gets up to grade level, or whatever their goal was, then it's good. Awesome, you're there. Awesome, you've achieved this goal. Let's make room for someone to come in and reap the benefits of this service. Right. Kim, I would say the volunteer coordinator, Kim Shelby, helps you a decent amount when it comes to recruitment and finding volunteers for the program. But then once they're part of the Lifelong Learning Center, the tutors are under your umbrella.
When I was the volunteer coordinator, I could funnel people in.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Be
I
like,
find out,
what's interesting?
Hey, you think you like to tutor?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I think we skipped that. I skipped that question for you, is how you landed in this role. And you just said you were the volunteer coordinator before?
Before? Oh, gosh. This is how much time do we have? My whole life has been, my wife says I'm a perpetual student. So I actually started out in healthcare, and I was a chiropractic physician in California. Oh, wow. And over the years, I got my master's degree in educational technology. At one of the chiropractic colleges, I was a supervising clinician and in the clinic system training chiropractors. I got into teaching. I enjoyed teaching. Mm-hmm. Okay. When we moved up here about 18 years ago, I was teaching online. I had about 6 universities and colleges. I was teaching undergrad and graduate students. Then I got certified to teach high school. I was teaching science. And so I did that for about 5 or so years. And then when the library was looking for a lifelong learning coordinator, I looked at that and I thought, that looks like me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
this is your first library job?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But since it's more like education and training and all of that.
You've kind of been prepping for it.
Yeah. We could be here for a long time to discuss all the things I've done to get there, but a lot of it had to do with training and education. So, yeah.
What does it take to be a tutor? I mean, are you looking for someone that has a degree in that thing, or they have an education background, or how do you make sure your tutors are good?
That's a good question. We have a lot of tutors we have engineers, we have retired teachers, we have people that were in the healthcare field or are in the healthcare field. So we have a lot of people we have computer people. So when they come in, we find out what kind of work they've done and what kind of training that they have to see if they, could tutor. And a lot of them have tutored in the past or done this kind of stuff at college, let's say, if they were in college. So when we first get the tutors, I work with them, and we train them, So to prepare, they get
what would be the word? You make sure that they're ready to go before you don't just get someone. Oh, you're good at math. Okay, here's little Johnny. Have fun.
They get vetted.
And they get vetted too. We go through and do.
And they also have to. What's the word? Sort of gel with their student in a way, right? It's like even if they have the appropriate skill set to teach the topic that someone wants to learn, if the communication isn't right or the whatever isn't correct, then it isn't working.
Yeah, I try to match people.
So
try to match
sometimes
people
there's
up
some
by talking on the phone with the parents, let's say, or the adult, and I kind of get a sense of how they are.
Yeah.
And then try to match them up with what I think is the best tutor for them.
Yeah.
And we have some awesome people.
Very dedicated.
They're very
tutors,
dedicated
yeah.
too. Very rarely have I had to change a tutor with someone, a learner with another tutor. That I haven't had to do that more than maybe a couple times, and which is okay.
Yeah,
we want to
totally
make sure
fine,
everybody's content with who they're working with.
And often it seems like just knowing the skills, but also just having the willingness and ability to teach. Just being good at something doesn't mean you're good at teaching it, of course. So there's that aspect as well. Yep. And also, in the case of like the tech tutors, you'd hardly even have to be expert level. Almost any high schooler can come in and teach someone how to use an iPhone.
Yeah.
Really, you don't have to be an
We've
Apple
used
Tech or whatever it is,
we've
right?
used high school honor students, high school students. Because we some of our tech tutors are far beyond what we need. We have one tutor that does programming, uses AI for programming too. So, and we're like, okay, you're an overkill, but you explain things so well.
Yeah.
And
we might poach him to coach staff.
Yes,
I think.
Yeah,
He'll do training for staff.
And I learn over time. I learn how the tutors are too. How their characteristics are. If they're quiet. If they're it just depends. I've had people with tutors that are very calm and like they're like, oh, like technology stuff, and they're like, oh, we'll figure this out, and they're very calm and they just love that. I have some that are, everyone's got their own skill set, so I try to match that up.
Yeah.
And I can kind of tell sometimes on the phone when I'm speaking, how someone is excited or calm or whatever. So anyway, it works out okay. We have fun with it.
Yeah, it works more than it doesn't. That's for sure.
Do you have I know you obviously the main subjects, right? Math and science and language arts. But do you have a wish list or something of like tutors that it'd be great to have someone who is an expert on, knew a lot about space, I don't know, or like astronomy or something like that that's a little bit more niche?
Right. We have some tutors that do science. We like space. I don't think we have anyone now, but
that's just
a
random example.
Foreign languages
ask
sometimes.
Foreign languages, yeah.
Foreign languages.
Foreign languages.
English as a second language. Citizenship, GED. What else do we do? We've had people asking for social media help. But usually, I've had people ask for things that we normally don't tutor. Like I said before, I'll just send out an email and ask.
Right.
Anyone
in this group. Yeah.
We've had people that we had a person that came in wants to be a journalist, and we have a tutor that loves to write and has a master's degree in education, and help them out to do journalist stuff. We work with dyslexic kids. We have a program, Barton system, for dyslexic kids. Our math program is good for that too. We have great success with, for example, we had a little girl come in. Mom couldn't afford what was in the community, the services in the community. So that's the other thing. We don't charge for the tutoring. So we did the Barton with her. She hated school. You know, you usually get behavior problems as a result of the frustrations. Didn't like read, and we worked with her for a little bit, for a month or two. I think it was all summer, and then they moved to Coeur d'Alene, and the mom contacted us and said she's doing great in school. She loves reading. So it's just those kind of success stories are just awesome.
What keep you going?
Yeah, and that's what keeps the volunteers going, because they see that they're changing people's lives. We've had adult learners come in who one person came in, actually went through school but didn't really know how to read, wanted to pass the license exam for driving. So we worked with them to learn to read and pass the test. They passed the test, and
Cool.
so they
Yeah,
could work.
awesome.
So we have a lot of different things that go on, that little successes that affect the community, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Who couldn't be excited about
Very
that?
visible.
Yeah.
So with, all the construction coming up and the expansion, what is kind of the top need from the community, if any? Maybe because you already got the funding, basically, you're hiring someone to build, professionals. You don't need volunteers, doing roofs.
Yeah, I would say patience and understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patience as spaces are unavailable, really just the one space, but it is going to be impactful. Potential noise, slight inconvenience. We are probably going to have fewer parking spaces than we normally do because the equipment's going to be taking up some space, and the contractor shack is going to be over in an area by the garden, so that's going to be less peaceful than it usually is. So it's just going to be a little more chaotic, I would say, than it usually is.
Yeah.
So that's all just that type. Grace, I guess,
grace,
really.
some
If
awareness,
anything,
and then
yeah.
grace when it all comes to
Yeah.
pass, which will be
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Which is just so exciting, and that lifelong learning center. What a cool! Is that something that most
pretty
libraries
cool.
offer?
No, actually,
No.
it's pretty unusual.
Okay.
A lot of libraries offer mini versions of it, like the tech tutoring component of the lifelong learning center, but not a full tutoring program. That is, I don't want to say unique, but it is unusual.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I like to say I'm unique.
Well, yes.
And do you have other libraries that are gonna, that come to you guys and like, how did you do this program? And we're gonna do something like it, kind of copycats.
I would probably send them to you if we have.
Yeah, we haven't had anyone.
No, I mean it'd be something that libraries would want to do if they had the capacity. A lot of libraries don't use quite as many volunteers as we do.
Okay.
I've noticed. They tend to have a volunteer core for things like shelving or just very specific activities. We have emphasized volunteering since I've worked at the library over the decades that the library's been in existence. And currently have over 100 volunteers all told.
Amazing.
So, and that's fantastic. And there's all kinds of things you can do. You can help with a program for whatever age. You can help with you can help with children's programming. There's sometimes book sorting or processing that you can. Shelving is a popular one. That's a great one to have volunteers do. It's very satisfying, I will say.
Treasure hunting.
Yeah. I originally applied to the library as a volunteer. And then when I got the call back to see if I'd been accepted as a volunteer, it was because they had a position open and were asking if I would apply for that. So that was lucky for me. But yeah, that's one of the things that I think has sustained this program, because we really only have the one paid position and then the volunteer coordinator who supports by providing the tutors, and then we do occasionally pay stipends to volunteers who are leading training for other volunteers, like on the Barton system specific curriculums or something like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's a big part of it. And the space, we've designed this space. A lot of libraries, they wouldn't, unless you have built out a chunk of your library to incorporate these rooms with someone managing the scheduling and all that, it's maybe a hard sell to reconfigure.
Yeah, some of our volunteers that help train, they don't just do a workshop. They make themselves available to consult and work with our
so nice.
other tutors. So it makes it really nice. So there's always someone that's willing to help out. And we have a new program now, literacy program, that I have a couple people that will be able to help workshop that and help with our other tutors too. It's a constant. On average, our tutors we have some tutors been there 5-10 years plus, and then we have some that come in. They'll work for maybe a couple of years or so, and so we're always retraining and retraining. So, but we have some wonderful people that so very dedicated.
Yeah.
Like we have some people there for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Would you ever do
volunteer.
like more
Yeah.
hands-on stuff, like how to cook, how to garden, how to those kinds of
we
tutoring?
do, just outside of the Lifelong Learning Center.
Okay.
So we've had cooking programs for adults and teens. Those would be managed by the adult service.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You don't want me cooking.
right. Well, not that I know, but I'm just agreeing with you. Assumptions. And our garden and seed library coordinator is teaching like garden and seed saving classes.
Do you do any
she'll-
instruments?
We have had people use our room where actually when I first got hired on, we had a kid that wanted to learn guitar. And so I did do some lessons with guitar, and that was fun. That was
Yeah.
fun. If we have anyone, I guess maybe the way things are set up now in the expansion, we'll have
with
we'll have a room
multimedia
room that we can have
Yeah.
music
Yeah.
in that room.
More soundproofing.
Yeah, because I have a background in music production as
Nice.
well,
Yeah.
and
You do it all.
Add it to the list.
music
Yeah.
performance and all that. When I was teaching science, they also gave me a whole floor of a building and said, go at it. When I got facilities and IT people to put all the computers and everything together, and I put the whole program together for music production. So
Awesome.
don't worry, I won't.
I
won't
know.
go
A
crazy.
new
Well,
program is brewing.
I mean, whoever wants to donate equipment
Yeah.
for music editing, make it happen.
What's one thing about the library, Vannessa, that most people don't know? Like something that you're constantly, your staff are constantly having to remind people or tell people,
Yeah.
did you know we do this?
I can't even list the number of things that I'm surprised by people not knowing. It's either I feel like I run into people who either use the library or don't use the library. And if you use the library, even if you're there to just get a book or a movie to borrow, I think you see, if you show up to the building, to either building, Branch and Clark Fork, or the big main branch in Sandpoint, you see all the programs and all the people moving around and hopefully get the gist that it's more than just a bunch of books, which is still a misconception, which shocks me. It's been decades since that's been the case. But if you don't use the library, I do get a couple of questions. One, oh, people still use libraries? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, people still read, which is horrifying because yes, they do. But I would just encourage people to explore maybe more of the programs, because you can learn a lot of what we're trying to develop by expanding the modalities of learning. So it was old school librarianship 100 years ago is a bunch of books. You grab one, you sit quietly. That's it. That's what you do, right? And it's these books. There are no novels. There's no fiction. You're just learning. Some reading maybe philosophy or whatever. Now there's so many ways. There's so many ways of learning. I mean, people learn beyond just from reading, and some people don't learn well from reading. Some people learn by doing or by listening or by watching. And so trying to provide all of those options for learning, but also learning in community. So the programs, it's not like you're necessarily just sitting listening to a lecture. There is maybe a hands-on component. There's maybe even a DIY. We do a lot of programs where people are sewing bags or putting together a tincture or actually planting something in the dirt, so and then you're learning those things, but you're also meeting other people who are also learning those things and hopefully making connections with those people as well. So it just grows from there. And so I like to think of the modern library and our library in particular, as it is in this community, as a connector for all kinds of things, and services, resources, but also just people. And that's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't realize unless they actually show up.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
We have the digital library part
Yes.
that a lot of people don't know about.
And that is
with
huge.
so many programs like Udemy.
Good plug.
Udemy
Yes.
is just,
Yeah.
there's actually, you can go on the digital library and go to Udemy and there are all these courses that are free for patrons to join.
Yeah, I mean, certification level courses too.
Certification
You can
levels.
get tech certifications. You can get all kinds of things that you would normally have to pay for. But that is you don't actually have to come to the library. There are a lot of remote options as well, and people should explore those more for sure. There's a lot of
and
value
tons
there.
of other programs in the digital library that you can probably
there's
know more.
there's
There's
almost
so
anything
many,
you want
gosh,
to.
there's a lot.
Car repair, study stuff like tutor.com and Udemy, but also just
Newspapers from all over
newspapers,
the
magazines,
world.
entertainment, streaming movies, TV. There's a list. There's a lot. I think it's worth just getting to that page on the website and poking around. Yeah.
When you go to the main library website, ebonnerlibrary.org.
Yes.
on the top right, you'll see digital
digital
library.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
digital library, and just click on that, and you can do a search on what's available.
So
Yeah.
many cool things that the library is doing. Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to make sure people know about?
I'm sure we did, but that's
There's again, so many things. I'm going to think of all of them as soon as I
we
walk out. But I would, if people want to keep up on the expansion project, it's easily we are updating as soon as we receive any new information on our website. So at the easiest way, the URL is a little long, so the easiest way is from the library homepage. There's a locations drop-down, and then we've created a sub-menu under the Sandpoint location for expansion. And we're posting timeline of all expected milestones, the most current renderings and floor plans, and just any updates we need to share with the community are going to be on that page. So.
Great.
We'll try to keep that updated.
We should link to that in our show
Yeah,
notes. And
yes,
definitely it'll
that
be
would
in the
be-
blog and all of that stuff.
That would be great. Yeah.
As we share about it. So thank you so much for what you do, and thanks for coming on and sharing with us.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for having us.
Oops, we didn't plan that.
Jinx.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecIdaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.